Welcome back to Behind the Bands, the show where we get a closer look at local music and the artists that make it. I am your host, Sukriti Brathoki, and today we're listening to IcedxCoffee, a hyperpop artist from Springfield, Missouri. He is currently on tour, traveling across the Midwest to perform his newest album, One View. Let's begin tonight with one of his original songs, Orange Chicken.
Orange chicken, Panda Express, takeout boxes making a mess. Passed out from eating too much food. Wake up on the couch at 2. In hazy days, don't even remember this place. Get up anyways. Look at my phone's notifications for the past 4 days. Billboard sign says now exiting. I turn left, now it's rerouting. Hit the blinker and I left it on. Sometimes I wonder if I'm what's wrong. Orange chicken. Orange chicken.
Hi, IcedxCoffee. Welcome to our show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. So let us start with your origins. You grew up traveling across the United States and started writing music in high school, originally creating acoustic songs. When and why did you start also creating electronic music?
Yeah, originally I kind of went away from music for a little bit. I was making these cute acoustic songs and about high school love and different things like that. And it was just kind of like me practicing and learning the guitar and writing music. And then I went to college and I kind of took a break from music for a bit and focused on doing career stuff. And then after doing that, I really got back into music right during COVID when I had a coworker that really was sending me different types of music, and it was electronic music. It was just all sorts of different sounds that I'd never really thought of music as before, and it really got me excited about music again. And so then I went back into I've then discovered 100gecs, and that artist really opened my mind to a lot of different music sounds and how music can just be fun, and you don't have to be super serious. You can just make what comes to your mind and fully express yourself and be authentic. And that's kind of where I really focused on making electronic music and started getting into practicing with Logic and different things like that. So yeah, I've been working and doing that for the last 2-3 years and making music on Logic.
Well, I mean, I think you're doing a great job on that. But what interested me more today was your name. So is there a story behind the name IcedxCoffee?
Yeah, I really like coffee. I just really like coffee a lot. I would go to coffee shops and go to different places around town and just trying all the different types of iced coffee specifically. And yeah, eventually I then went on to get my username for video games to be IcedxCoffee. And after making that, I was like, well, what should I come up with for an artist name? And it just was like, I couldn't really think of anything that wasn't already taken or just like wasn't already there. So then I was like, well, I love coffee, and I'm just gonna go with my username. So I went with IcedxCoffee.
Well, that's great, great. So tell us a bit about the first song we're listening to, Orange Chicken. What inspired you to write that song? And interesting, like song name as well. So, yeah.
Thank you. My inspiration for that song specifically was I wanted to make like authentic and real songs about like things that I was experiencing at the moment, and something that I like. I don't know if it's relatable to people, but I like to eat Panda Express's orange chicken and just like pass out on the couch. But usually what happens is I'll eat that chicken, it'll be like 8 o'clock at night, and then I'll pass out, and then I'll wake up at 2 and I'll be like, what just happened? I like kind of like go into a coma and stuff. And so I wanted to write a song that was just kind of like relating to the fact that like I just like watching TV, eating orange chicken and passing out, and then being like, what happened?
Oh, that's great. I mean, I love how all of you, you know, your name and your songs are starting with your authentic self, which is really rare to see. So that's like a fresh side of it, which is great. So now let's listen to our next song, Time Machine.
I dream when I'm awake. Some people say that I am really fake, but they wish that they were me, and that's okay. If I were them, I'd probably feel the same way. I don't believe time's real, 'cause if it did, I'd use a time machine. I also believe in teleportation, it's just cloning. Kill me and appear on the other side, yeah, I know things, I'll just take a flight. I'll just take a flight. I make the best nachos, and I binge watch all of my favorite shows. And I know who are my real friends, and everyone else who just pretends. I'm not saying that you're not a friend, you're just more like an acquaintance, and that's just because you don't actually want to hang out, and I think it's because you just have some good patience, but I don't even know why you're here and hanging out. If you were actually like this, would you know when my next show is? And would you actually want to go to Waffle House? Not trying to be a downer, just would rather spend time with people who actually care and will actually follow me back and have my back when I need someone to be there. And you're not there. And you're not there.
That was Time Machine. Now, IcedxCoffee, can you tell us a little bit about that song?
Yeah, so it's funny because like as I like have gone like and like gone throughout life and things, I really like philosophical debates and different things like that. And Time Machine was me talking about like how I don't believe that time exists. And but then there's also the other part of like cloning and later on in the song where it's like talking about like I don't believe that cloning exists either, because like it's just kind of like destroying your old clone, which is yourself, and then when you appear on the other side, it's like just your clone. So it's not really you. So I don't feel like you can do teleportation. So yeah, I just was like, I'm just gonna air out my philosophical beliefs on a track, and decided to do that. And then also the other part of the song later on is just like talking about how sometimes as musicians it can be challenging to do shows, because sometimes those friends aren't able to make it out to all of your shows. And but you know, it's one of those things where like I feel like I have a lot of good support in my life, but it's just like sometimes people can't make it out, and there's just like sometimes excuses for that.
Yes. Okay, so as we mentioned before, you're currently on tour. What has been your experience with performing music live, and how long have you been doing it?
Yeah, well, performing live music can be so challenging, especially with the genre that like electronic genre in general. You have different mixing boards and different audio systems that like will bump up the bass, and then other ones where it's like super quiet and you can't really hear yourself, or you're fighting feedback. So whenever I'm performing, it's really hard because I have to be really intentional about making sure that the microphone isn't feeding back from speakers, that the venue is able to like put sound out to a certain volume and stuff. And like, it's kind of also hard to not be able to perform at like a coffee shop necessarily, because that's like more tailored towards the acoustic music scene stuff. But yeah, no, other than that, it's like my experience has been like, there are some really cool venues all around Missouri and Chicago, and just like the amount of support I've gotten from other artists that have been able to like help me better tune in on what makes those sounds better is like, has been fun. So yeah, performing live is my favorite thing, one of my favorite things about music, and just because I like having fun with people.
Yeah, that's great. So, is there a certain message to? Sorry. Okay. Is there a certain message you want to get across to your listeners through your music?
Yeah, I think the thing is like being authentic, but also having fun. It's not that serious. You don't have to be that serious. And just like, I want people to be able to like just get to music and make it more accessible. I think that was one of the things I really enjoyed about hyperpop, is it felt like, oh, I can just approach at this with a fun like way and practice and learn and do sound design, and like it not be such a scary thing. So I guess my thought is like, I'm hoping that people will go into GarageBand and make more beats and music.
So you describe your music as Midwest laptop music. What exactly does that mean?
Yeah, it's exactly it is. It's because there are so many hyperpop artists from the Missouri area. I think that there's like a specific sound that kind of comes from that, and like Midwest laptop music, I feel like describes that idea of like, this is homemade in my laptop, in my bedroom, making like beats on my own. And it doesn't have to be professional. It doesn't have to be like a specific way. It's just like artists making music for the sake of it being fun and enjoyable.
Yes, I love how you're like, actually having fun, whatever you're doing. So that's great. You mentioned that you enjoy A.G. Cook, Guppy, and Dylan Brady. How have these artists inspired your own music?
Yeah, A.G. Cook, I consider like one of the founders of hyperpop. Not a lot of people know about his name, but like people know Charlie XCX. And Charlie XCX's beats and music is produced by A.G. Cook most of the time. And so like, there's all these like electronic artists behind the scenes that don't really necessarily get to stand in the spotlight because they're making the music itself and not like the music. And that's like just, I appreciate that about like Dylan Brady has been on so many tracks like with like Selena Gomez and some other like really high level names, and but you just don't really get to hear their names because they're the producers for the tracks. And so Guppy, Dylan Brady, A.G. Cook, they're all some of my favorite electronic music producers because they use really cool snares and really heavy basses and just these different types of tonal sounds that you normally wouldn't get from songs. And I don't know if it's just like me not being able to focus or like pay attention or like whatever, but when it comes to music, I have a hard time listening to like repetitive stuff or like things that kind of like don't have a lot of changes to it. And so like all of their stuff is just so different and so like bass heavy that it gets me excited about like all the different types of sounds that can be made. So I just like their sound design a lot.
Okay, well, let's check out our next song, 10 p.m.
Tug the stitches on my sweater. Really hate this kind of weather. Whether I like it or not, I guess it's here. Always comes way too late, but then never actually stays. Why does it seem to get colder every year? I'm not meant for this climate, perfect all year. Can I find it? I don't know how much more I can handle. I think that I'm gonna throw up. I think that I'm gonna throw up. The lobby closed at 10 p.m. Have to wait until it's morning again. Oh, wait, the drive-thru is still open. I would like the number 10. Couch is getting comfier, the blanket's getting cozier, and there's always something to watch on TV. Slowly sipping on a drink, pour the old stuff down the sink. Love the days whenever it's just you and me. Need to find a new hobby, they're all sweaty in this lobby. It's getting harder every day for me to compete. I'm not meant for this climate, perfect all year. Can I find it? I don't know how much more I can handle. I think that I'm gonna throw up. I think that I'm gonna throw up. The lobby closed at 10 p.m. Have to wait until it's morning again. Oh, wait, the drive-thru is still open. I would like the number 10. I think that I'm gonna throw up. I think that I'm gonna throw up. The lobby closed at 10 p.m. Have to wait until it's morning again. Oh, wait, the drive-thru is still open. I would like the number 10.
That was IcedCoffee's original song, 10 p.m. Could you tell us a little bit more about that song and what is your process when writing music?
Yeah, so with 10 p.m., I mean, whenever I write music, I first focus on the beats first and making and producing the beats. And then like, I just kind of put whatever is happening in my life, like onto the track after that. So like, with 10 p.m., I always have this like thing where I'm like eating super late at night. And so like whenever I go to get food, I'm like, what's still open? Like what's going on there? And then like I'll get to a restaurant and it'll be closed and then you're like, dang it, I really wanted chicken fingers, or I really wanted this burger.
Or you really wanted orange chicken.
Yeah, exactly. And then you like get there and you're like, oh, dang, it's closed. But then you realize the drive-thru's still open and you're like, okay, cool. So yeah, that song for me was just talking about like how cold winters get in Missouri, and then also just being disappointed that you get to a restaurant super late and it's like closed. So yeah, that's 10 p.m. and like, but a majority of like what I do with songwriting is I like to make the beats first and then just like have fun with the lyrics afterwards.
I mean, there you go. I mean, you know, the fact that you're actually, you know, doing it, writing songs about daily lives is like so cool. I've probably never heard of any other artist doing that. So good job, I would say.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You have also numerous remixes and features floating around online. So what is your favorite part about collaborating with other artists?
Yeah, some of my favorite parts about collaborating with other artists is like, I like seeing their process as well, but I also like doing remixes of other music and things like that, because like with Frost Children, they had a competition where I was able to do a remix and just getting to show them and also like some of the other people that were listening on Discord, like a song that they made that was really cool. But then also getting to connect with some of your favorite artists in that way is just so much fun. I have a release coming up with a collaboration with Glitch Gum, and I am super excited about it. It's called 1500%, and it's releasing on Monday. I don't know when we air this or not, but yeah, I'm super excited about that, and it was fun getting to work with him too, and also worked with Cottontail, another hyperpop artist that was on the show a little bit back.
Well, all the very best for that.
Thank you.
So where can we listen to this amazing music?
It's whatever streaming platform you're on. If you listen on SoundCloud, YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify. I also have an Instagram that you can go to the link and it'll take you there on my link tree. It's IcedxCoffee _band_official. And the X is like the P in pterodactyl, it's silent, so yeah.
So where can we find more about your live musics?
I also on that same link, or going to Bands in Town, I also have the events on Spotify as well on the events page there. So there's a couple of posters there, but also on Instagram I have posters as well. So I think up next is West Plains, but I'm going to be making it out to Chicago on this tour run, and I'm super excited about that.
Well, I'm excited for you too. Just hearing about it is so much fun. Also, I remember that we talked, like I just realized that you had an album this year, One Brew.
Yes.
Yes. So can you tell us about your process while creating this album and what the album is more about?
Yeah. So with One Brew, originally I was going to call it Midwest Laptop Music, but then my distributor said that it was a little too generic of a name, and I was like, really? Okay. So I wrote an album last year called 10 Brew. And I thought it'd just be funny to be like, okay, well, maybe slightly petty, but I was like, instead of 10 brew, I'll just make it 1 brew instead. And so then I kind of went down in the numbers and stuff and decided to go that route. But with 1 brew, it was really allowing myself to just express myself and actually enjoying the music that I was working on at the time. Because 10 Brew was more I wanted to make sure I had something out there so I could do shows and be able to hang out with friends and put shows on. But with 1 Brew, I took a little bit more time and just really allowed myself to make songs that I felt were unique and authentic to what I was doing at the time.
Yes. Okay. So tell us a little bit about the next song we'll be listening, and that is Wet Socks.
Yeah, Wet Socks. I don't know what it is, but whenever I'm performing shows, it's always raining, and I'm always wearing white shoes too. And so I think whenever I heard that sad trumpet, whenever I was building out the producing and making it, I was like, that trumpet sounds so sad. What is something that would be so sad like that? And then I thought about all the times I've had wet socks, and I was like, man, that's rough. So yeah, I kind of went with that.
See, there you go. I just love it that it's all based on your life, right? So yes, thank you so much. This has been the Behind the Bands with IcedXcoffee, and I have been your host, Sukriti Brathuki. We have one more song to listen to, IcedXcoffee's original song, Wet Socks. Thank you for watching, and good night. Thank you so much, IcedXcoffee.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
The feeling sucks, it's the worst in every way. I like to wear a pair of white shoes when it rains all day.